again, Minister, I'm going back to the question arising from Professor Mahoney's report and one of these 17 recommendations and conclusions, and it's in relation to the 3,000 payment. And of course, I've had the privilege of hearing your reply previously, and I must say I'm unhappy with that reply. The content is perfect. You're setting out the answer, but you're doing it in a way that doesn't take cognizance of the 17 recommendations, which said doing nothing is not an option. And it's also set out in the context of delays to date. So if you could be specific in relation to the 3,000, the details of it, and when it will be extended to others.
Thanks, Deputy Minister.
Thanks, Deputy. So in March, and following publication of the independent review into illegal birth registrations, I asked Professor Conor O'Mahony, the Special Rapporteur on Child Protection, to consider the significant complexities and challenges which arise in relation to the issue of illegal birth registrations, and to provide a report proposing an appropriate course of action. And on the 14th of March, I published the report which sets out the 17 numbered recommendations. Recommendation 16 of the report by the Special Rapporteur on Child Protection was that provision should be made to cover legal costs associated with a declaration of parentage of persons affected by illegal birth registrations. In response, the government approved a once-off payment of €3,000 for those individuals whose illegal birth registration has been confirmed by TUSLA from the files of St Patrick's Guild. And that once-off €3,000 payment is intended as a contribution towards costs such as creating or amending wills or seeking a declaration of parentage. While it could also be used for DNA testing, TUSLA has covered the costs of DNA testing for individuals in cases where records were insufficient to confirm an illegal birth registration, and will continue to provide this support. TUSLA has already hold confirmation of illegal birth registrations from the files of St Patrick's Guild that can form the basis for a payment to the individuals affected without any need to bring forward evidence and meet a certain burden of proof. There may be potential to extend the payment to other confirmed cases after the birth information and tracing bill has been provided to access records, and people with suspicions are therefore able to access evidence necessary to confirm illegal birth registration and effect a change in the birth register. In terms of the basis for the figure of €3,000, this was informed by the work of the interdepartmental group on illegal birth registrations and by the Special Rapporteur's recommendations in terms of the purpose of the payment. And my officials are currently working to establish the scheme with the intention of making payments as soon as possible in 2022.
Minister, we know that the extent of the illegal registration, the potential is huge. We know from the independent reviewer from Northern Ireland that it could be up to 20,000 and more. If we don't examine, we can't find. And the three monkeys come to mind, and I mean that in no disparaging way, but see, hear and do no evil. If we don't look, we can't find. And so this report from Professor O'Mahony, which is dated September, wasn't published till March. That came on foot of the independent reviewer's report from Northern Ireland, which is dated 19 and was published in 21. She recommended that we look at the suspicious files. We haven't looked at the suspicious files. The 17 recommendations from Professor O'Mahony did not say give 3,000, or he did say give money or make money available, but not confined to St Patrick's Guild. He did not say that in 16. So why you're making that decision that it should be confined to St Patrick's Guild on the basis that there's no evidence? We can never get evidence if we don't look. And the other report said, don't burden TUSLA because they don't have the resources. Or if you're going to ask them to do it, give them resources.
You're absolutely right that if we don't look, we can't find. And that's why I have prioritised the birth information and tracing legislation, which actually provides the mechanisms to allow us find this information, to allow us get the birth certs, the birth records, the early life information, which is the core way in which we can find out if someone has been subject to an illegal birth registration or not. We have the provision of a specialised tracing team, which Professor O'Mahony recommended. We've set out in our response to the recommendations how that's going to be implemented by TUSLA. TUSLA requires some additional legislative support to undertake the kind of detailed tracing that's going to be needed to actually determine, because as you know, Deputy, we're dealing with illegal acts that usually were deeply covered, deeply concealed. For whatever reason, they didn't do that in St Patrick's Guild. So we're providing the legislative tools in the Birth Information and Tracing Bill, the resourcing tools to TUSLA in terms of the 3 million additional allocation in this year's budget. And these are the things we're acting. We're providing the mechanisms so we can look.
Deputy.
I appreciate that you're doing your best, Minister, but forgive my frustration when you look at the context. At every step of the way there's been a delay. You have to acknowledge that. Professor O'Mahony's report is dated September. It wasn't published till Patrick's Week. Previously, and I think the lady asked for her name not to be mentioned, which is the reason I'm not mentioning her name, and I've asked you to confirm, did she do that? Did she ask for her name to be taken from the independent review that she carried out because there were changes or alterations? I'm not sure. And I don't wish to say something that's incorrect, but that's why I'm not using her name. But can you imagine? I'm not using her name because she apparently has asked. And I've asked you to tell me, is that true or not, so that I can attribute the very good work she did to her, which was delayed almost 2 years. Now, when you have that type of background, it is hard to have confidence. And I'm here and I have a voice. I'm speaking for the people who are voiceless outside and who do not have any trust. And I'm finding it increasingly difficult to keep my trust. And I'm on record for praising you and saying I don't doubt your bona fides. But look at this. The history is becoming more and more fragmented, even in terms of the reports. Look what's before me here, and I've only summaries of them.
Minister, conclude.
Professor O'Mahony conducted a very detailed piece of work, and he conducted it in a very short period of time. When I get detailed work, I give it the time to consider it. 17 detailed, complex recommendations. I don't rush into things in this area. I give them the time, I give them the consideration. And that's why it's through doing that I believe we've gotten a very strong birth information and tracing bill, a very strong institutional burials bill, because they were given the time to assess the various elements that needed to be addressed within them. In the context of the independent reviewer's report, the independent reviewer was commissioned to do a piece of work. She did that piece of work. The Attorney General recommended a small number of redactions from it. I have to accept the Attorney General's response. I indicated this, our department indicated to the legal reviewer. She indicated she wasn't happy with those. We indicated that was the legal advice that we required. She did ask for her name to be removed. We had commissioned this piece of work for her, so we believed it was appropriate that we publish it and attribute it to her.